Hey, everybody, and welcome back to the Common Sense Dad. So, today we are going to discuss the age old question that every homeowner has to deal with eventually. Do I do this project myself or do I hire a pro? So, today, what I want to do is walk through three key things that you really need to think about while making this decision, as well as about five or six others that are going to help make this decision as well. So, stick around and let's get right into it.
There are three key factors that we want to consider when taking on a project: time, money, and expertise. Do I have the time to complete this project? Do I have the cash to make this project happen? And do I have the expertise to do this project? Let's first take a look at time. Time is always the most critical factor when it comes to deciding on whether or not you should do a project yourself or hire a professional. You have to calculate the actual length of time it's going to take. So let's assume this is a 6-week job. Now, is that 6 weeks for a pro to do it? And if it is 6 weeks for a pro to do it, that means it's going to take you at minimum 24 weekends and probably a few late nights to get this task accomplished. Is that a viable option for you? So these are the things you need to consider. And part of that consideration also needs to include your lost opportunity costs. Can I spend my time doing something else where I'm actually making money? The second factor we want to look at is money. How much is this project going to cost? Do I have the cash on hand to make this work? Or has one of our big box retailer friends shown 0% on their store credit card, a 0% interest for 18 months, where you know you can easily knock that out? It's the age-old question, right? So if I call a professional and he quotes me $60,000 and my material costs, looking at it, it's only going to cost me $10,000. Depends on the type of project, right? Because this is where you want to consider other things like time and expertise. But I'm going to strongly, heavily favor that $10,000 versus the $60,000, particularly if I can pay for it at 0% over 18 months. And I may even have a little extra cash on hand to take on the project. It depends upon how necessary the project is and how much value it actually brings to my home. But ultimately, it comes down to cash. Cash is the commodity by which all things are judged. If I can do it for a much cheaper price and it won't take me that long to do it, you can bet your butt I'm doing it by myself. And this is a very simple equation. Take your salary and calculate your hourly rate. Now take your budgeted time that it's going to take you and multiply that by your hourly rate, and then add your total material cost. That is your true cost, and that is the cost that you're going to have to weigh against any potential bids or quotes from contractors. The third thing we want to look at is expertise. So a lot of times with these do-it-yourself projects at the home, like if you're doing an addition, I can frame, I can hang drywall, but I may want to hire an electrician. I definitely want to hire a plumber to go take care of anything that needs to be done there, and an HVAC tech. So if I have half of the skill sets to make something happen, but the other half are lacking, it's a tough call. However, if it's something where I can do it all myself and I have the tools and the expertise because I've done it before, I'm more willing to take it on myself. And this is where some other factors can help in your decision-making process. Let's talk about this piece on expertise again. So even though you may have the expertise, do you have the tools to do it? Are you going to have to go buy some tools that you're never going to use again? Are these tools that you can rent? How much is that going to cost you? How much is the cost of the tool if you're not going to rent it? And will you use it again? I mean, there's all sorts of things you need to weigh. And this can be a difficult decision because if you're like me, you love tools. You love collecting tools. You have so many tools, you've run out of places to place your tools. Just as important is going to be your stress and confidence level. Is this project going to bring you undue stress? Are you going to be stressed out about getting it done because you set unrealistic deadlines for yourself? How confident are you that you can complete this project in your specified timeline? And it's not just yourself, it's others in the household you have to worry about as well. So is your wife going to be upset with you because you're taking on a project and messing up the house? Are your kids going to be, upset because they can't use a bathroom, or their, lights are out because you're having the electrical done, or whatever it may be? All those things, a construction zone in a house can cause chaos. And if you're constantly having to clean up after it, you're also not spending time with your wife and children, or your spouse and children. So all those things need to be considered. Another factor you want to consider is risk and safety, for that matter. A good example of this is, if there's something wrong with, a plug or a light switch in my house, I'll take a look at it. But if I find out it's because there's a broken circuit breaker or something, not touching it. I'm calling my electrician, right? Same thing with plumbing. If it's a P-trap that's loose, or a sink that needs to be adjusted, or a faucet, a sink that needs to be recaulked, or a faucet that's loose or something like that, I can probably handle that, right? I'm not going to call a plumber for that. But if I've got a sewage backup, due to a cracked main going out to the street, you're darn right I'm calling my plumber, because my plumber's got the tools to dig up my yard or my driveway, and get at it real quick and get it fixed. It's going to take me forever, and I'm not going to have my boys or hire a temporary crew to come out and dig holes in the yard to go 6 feet below the ground to get to my main drain. At least that's what it is here in Texas. Another thing to consider with risk and safety are, can you seriously injure yourself doing a project like this? So, for example, the other day I saw pruning blades for a Sawzall, and I love to go out and prune my trees in springtime and in fall. But I do have some dead branches that are 36 feet up in the air in the tree, and I only have a 20-foot extension ladder. And, I tried to go up as high as I could, but I realized, this just isn't safe. So, those are things that you also need to look at. It's just not safe. And same thing with getting on the roof, right? So I live on a hill, and my house is technically 3 stories, because my basement goes out to the ground floor. Yes, I have a basement, and I live in Texas. Yes, it's true. I do have one. I'm not going to go get on the 3rd floor, because if I fall, that's a 30-foot drop, and I don't feel like getting brain damage or broken bones. So things like that, other things to consider. Another area you want to consider while deciding whether or not you're going to want to do a project by yourself or hire a pro is, there any legal and code requirements involved? So, are you going to have to put or pull permits for this job? If it's something on the interior and it's, something that doesn't require a permit, fine. You don't need a permit to paint, right? But, if you're doing an addition on your house, you're going to attract a lot of attention if your square footage all of a sudden becomes larger. So you're going to want to pull a permit. And, how confident are you that you're going to be able to pass all the inspections, even if you hire separate trades or trades individually? And along with that, will your homeowner's insurance go up? Will it be affected by the addition? Not to mention the fact that your property is probably going to be reassessed, which means your property taxes are probably going to go up as well. The last thing to consider is the long-term durability or maintenance of the project that you're thinking of doing. and whether or not it has any warranties or guarantees. So most contractors will warranty their work for at least a minimum 1 year, depending on what type of contractor they are, and depending on what type of work that they're doing. But with DIY, there's no such thing as warranty, and there's no guarantee. So you really have to assess your confidence level and determine whether or not a warranty or a guarantee is important to you. There is one final thought here. If you're seriously considering taking on a major or minor remodel project, one thing I strongly recommend is you put 20% extra aside for the unknowns. If you start taking out walls and you find you have wood rot or termite damage, or things need to be rerouted, you've got to protect yourself to make sure you can cover those costs. So let's recap. Time, money, expertise. Those are the three key factors you need to consider. But don't forget, along with that, you have other considerations like risk, safety, legal or any code requirements, tools and equipment, stress and confidence level, long-term maintenance, and any warranty and guarantees. I hope you enjoyed this episode of The Common Sense Dad, and thank you so much for tuning in. If you found this episode useful, hit that like button and subscribe. We look forward to chatting with you on coming episodes. Take care, everyone, and happy DIYing.